Hello and welcome to the channel. We're about to watch Alien Romulus, the official trailer. Also, quick shout out, we're handheld. My audio skills are still a disaster on my end, but shout out to Sebastian at CA. I do love the mic. I just need to develop more skills and confidence on my end. Okay, but let me turn my lights off. I'm gonna have them off while we're watching this, and then I'll turn them back on while we discuss. I don't know if that was Wayland Yutani.
Is this really where you want to spend the rest of your life?
You know I don't.
Okay, that's gorgeous, whatever's going on there.
Then this is our only ticket out of here.
Oh yeah, they're gonna work for Wayland Yutani. This is gorgeous so far. So faithful to like that retro style from the original. And the little beepy radar from Aliens. Oh, it's too late, honey. That is crazy that they have like a machine where you can like turn the body into an X-ray. Classic water horror.
What do you mean there's something in the water?
No, there's just something in the fucking water.
Oh no, we're gonna actually see an impregnation?
Fucking things.
We've never seen that
Open the door,
before.
come on.
They have to have android horror too, for Alien Isolation reference. Okay, I think that was an android because of the eye roll. This silent effect was just perfect.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Okay. And then that was like a little echo of the original, some of the original trailers, the little scream effect. Because it's very reminiscent of like that siren effect that they had going on in the trailer for the original film. The trailer for Alien is still just one of the greatest film trailers of all time. But this was definitely, had more modern sensibilities to it. But one thing that I love right off the bat, is I don't know what the story is. I can tell that it's in universe, because a lot of the ship architecture and even some of the building architecture is very Wayland Yutani from the classic films. So we know that we're in the same universe and that they haven't done like some sort of full new reboot. It's familiar and it has a vibe that so many of us fans have wanted to return to forever. I love the homages that I pointed out. Like the facehuggers being concealed in the water reminds me so much of when Newt was sitting in that shallow water and the alien warrior class just came right up behind her and got her right before Ellen could get to her. And Ellen's like, no! When she's being told, like, we have to go. We'll try to get her after, but we have to go. And Sigourney Weaver is just shrieking in a way so convincing of like a mother's grief. The first two films, Alien and Aliens, are honestly among my favorite films of all time. I love how, despite almost being entirely different in tone and genre, they're still both among the greatest films of all time. Now, Alien 3 and Alien 4 got a little bit weird, but I still love the quadrilogy as a whole. Now, I never really got into Alien vs. Predator and Requiem. Some of the games were duds for me too. Don't even get me started on Colonial Marines. I remember I saved a magazine cover from like one of those old PlayStation or Gamer Mag type magazines from 2006. Colonial Marines was the cover story, and I held on to that magazine for like 5 years, waiting for that game to come out, hoping it was going to be a masterpiece, and then I ended up never even buying it. I also had a hard time getting into Prometheus and Alien Covenant as connected to the original lore. I know that Ridley Scott was the creative engine behind them, and they're good sci-fi films with a little bit of a splash of thriller, not quite horror in my opinion. But my main criticism for them has always been I feel like they've meandered away a little bit too much. Like, I feel like one of the best parts of the xenomorph is that it's inexplicable how such a perfect predator organism could exist. The whole idea of explaining how they were created as like a genetically modified byproduct by an engineer class society using weaponized black goo, and then throw in some human hubris and AI. I felt like it just got bogged down. It's like none of us want this, you know? The mystery has always been part of the horror, and it has always shocked me how Ridley Scott, you know, mystery and the unexplained, that was such a huge part of why Alien 1, his masterpiece, is such an unsettling, eternal gem of cinema. And so it was so bizarre that he took that swing to, okay, now I'm going to like over-explain everything, and we're going to show exactly how they were created. And he never quite got there on the film arc, but I think that that's a good thing. We should never see, because I know that there were xenomorphs in Alien Covenant, but they were still design-wise slightly different from anything that we had ever seen. And I know that there was like all this talk about how Numi's character was turned maybe either into like the first egg or into like a queen or something like that. There are a lot of discussions about it. And see, I think that's part of the problem. The true origin and evolution should be a mystery. I already said this, but one thing that I just love about this trailer is that we don't know what the story is, other than it appears that there are some people who are in debt, and so they know that Weyland-Yutani sucks and is immoral and unethical, and that there will always be some sort of deep personal price, but the pay is good enough that they're going to sign up on board for some sort of exploratory mission. One thing that I hope that they don't do, though, is try to recreate like a new Ellen Ripley character. I wouldn't say that it's been blatant in Prometheus or Alien Covenant, but there have been like Ripley echoes in some of the like main female lead characters, and it just kind of comes off as hollow, and you're never gonna have another Ellen Ripley. That is an iconic, inimitable character. Speaking of Ellen Ripley, I called that out in my recent reaction to the Atlas movie starring J-Lo on Netflix. That the link to that'll be in the description if you want to check that out. There is literally a carbon copy scene of when Ellen Ripley is doing the debrief to the Colonial Marines, except it's J-Lo talking about that AI is gonna kill you all unless you listen to me. It's just a disaster, like an unspeakable disaster. My final thoughts are that this looks like it has the potential to be the best Alien film that we've gotten in decades. But at the same time, that bar has not been tremendously high. But these are the best odds the franchise has had in a long time. I think that the fan base might not be the biggest on the planet, but it is one of the most devoted of all time. A fresh new visionary who's focusing on hardcore visuals and is appearing to come back to the roots of the franchise versus focusing on a lot of these esoteric, existential ideas. It seems like the horror is coming back in an authentic and gritty way, not a cheesy way. As familiar as some of these elements are, he's also introducing new ideas and new technology concepts, like that device where you put it on yourself. You basically get an X-ray because it makes your skin like translucent. I've never seen anything like that in a sci-fi or just in a movie. A device like that fits so perfectly into this universe, yet seems so fresh, so new. I really hope that this film just dials it up as far as that mix of retro and new vision. Gosh, it's kind of trippy going down memory lane. Like, I remember somehow I convinced my mom when I was like 8 or 9, we rented Aliens, so the sequel on VHS from Blockbuster. I'm that old, folks. I'm that old. And I remember my mom had to tell me to stop because I kept rewinding the scene when Ellen Ripley walks out in the packing mech suit and she's like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" I mean, it was just iconic. I'd be like rewind it and "Get away from her, you bitch." I just loved that scene, that moment. I was like, this is an all-time iconic character. And that's my ending sentiment. I just hope that this new crew of filmmakers, I hope that they know how much this franchise means to so many people. And I'm all for filmmakers and creators injecting some of their own unique ideas into things, but I hope that there is representation as far as what do the fans want? What will just have the fans freaking out in awe, in amazement, in appreciation? Like, we don't want an echo chamber, be creative, have some new ideas, but at the same time, remember who's buying the tickets. Okay, that's all I've got. Signing off. See you in the next one. Bye.